Okay, I know I'm like 10 years late to the party, but I just finished watching through HunterxHunter, a show with great characters, awesome power scaling, interesting and innovative stories, and Hisoka. Now, I don't know if this video is going to be a whole cliche that everyone and their mom has already talked about, but I haven't watched any other reviews or read anything outside of just watching this show, so I don't know what the opinions of everybody else is, so how about you just get all the way off my back on that? But anyways, after watching all 148 episodes, one stood out to me amongst all the rest. So let's talk about it. This episode takes place in the Chimera Ant arc. Now for those of you watching this who haven't watched the show yet, stop and go watch. And for those of you who just want a quick refresher, here it is. Basically, there are these ants that are eating other animals to take on their traits. So we start off with Mrs. Queen Ant Lady Thing eating a bunch of people, including people with Nen abilities. And now there are 3 literally unbeatable entities, plus the king who's on a completely different level altogether. Now the king's a straight menace. Bro came out the womb talking about like mans don't even got a name yet, and he telling his mom what to do. If that was me, oh my goodness.
It was at this moment that he knew.
So he hops on out there with,
I am 15 years old. I am basically an adult. Right.
Type energy to run the block on all of North Korea or something, saying things like,
these humans are complete idiots. Now I want you to think as hard as those puny brains of yours can manage. Have you ever spared a pig or a cow because it begged you for its life?
who taught you that? But anyway, he decides that waiting to commit mass genocide was low-key kinda boring, so he pulled out them board games from the dusty cabins to start calling people to square up. Mans must have been taking notes out in the reverse flash, because apparently utterly destroying people in the things they worked their whole life was simply not good enough, so he would just kill them just to raise the stakes. After beating basically every board game in existence, they had to pull out all the stops and pull the blind girl out of her abusive home looking like...
But in what way exactly?
Well, she's uncommonly stupid then.
But y'all know, when these shows pull out them braille readers, it's about to get juicy, and juicy it does get, cause she immediately comes in and starts dogging bro. Feeling absolutely humiliated, he decides it's been a minute since he brought up his KD, so he bets her life on the game. Little does he know, she is psycho for real, cause she been betting her life on the game since her parents been treating her slightly better than Ging been treating Gon.
Can we talk more later on? If you can.
Yeah, that might be kinda tough. I'm a pretty busy guy, you know.
So in classic villain fashion, he decides to be acting real extra like a drama queen and rip off his whole arm just to show he means business. So now, equipped with his built-in black air forces, things were about to get serious. So here we are in a grand, bright throne room with just a monster and a cripple. A king who always wins playing a girl who never loses. They play so he can win, to prove he is the strongest, but she plays so to give her life meaning because a
軍議を一度負ければただの人というのがありますが、私は負けたらゴミなんです。
So he loses again and again and again until he wonders.
名は何と申す?
Komugi です。
Then she asks,
総帥様のお名前は何とおっしゃられるのですか?
Who am I? He lives in a world of defined roles. Every ant is born for a purpose and nothing more. A soldier is a soldier, a guard, and a king. He was the king. That meant he was the strongest. He was meant to always win. He was meant to rule over all that lives. Why? Because he was born to rule. So why did he feel this way? Why did it feel so difficult to think about a world where Komugi wasn't by his side? She was but a subject and he was a king. Then if that was who he was, an object defined by his proclivities and nothing more, then why did he feel like...
I came here to kill her, didn't I? What is this creature?
But king. King is a role, it is not a name. He is a person with no identity. A king who lacks the basic dignity of the man he so stringently demands respect of. A king who lacks that which his subjects take for granted. Komugi wins not by being cunning, not by being strong, not by being protective, but by doing the one thing that no one has offered the king. A king whose servants are loyal to him out of obligation. They were born to serve. They need to serve. That is what makes them his royal guard. But here is this girl who garners all the respect of the planet's most powerful person by compassionately caring about who the king was and not what he was. Without fighting, a spy can defeat a marshal. Komugi is no silent, sadistic spy. She doesn't do it for glory or gold, but because she loves the game and the person who plays it all the same. For love is something that is undeserving. It is a gift of which no one is worthy of receiving, yet it is freely and willingly given. That is what makes it so special. Komugi wins because what can you do when you realize that strength is not in dominance, strength is not in easy solutions, strength is not in fear. Strength is when you protect the weak. Strength is when you help those who can't help themselves. Strength is when you learn to adapt. Strength is when you realize that
I am not alone.
she saves the king, and the king saves her. Strength is selfless. Love is strength. And love is willing the good of another. It is in sickness and in health, till death do us part. A classic, Beauty and the Beast.
I have to kill you.
So here we are in a small, dimly lit bedroom with a king and a servant. A man on his deathbed and a girl full of life. A girl whose life he saved. All he wants to do is play, because all he has is this day. In death he has been humbled. In death he understands that all that matters is he gets one last time to play. He plays not because he needs to win, but because he has to. He plays so he can spend a little bit more time with the person he loves. He plays because he doesn't want to die alone. Even the most powerful thing in the world, a king, fears the emptiness of being alone. So he plays not as a king commanding his servant, but as a friend and an equal. And so he asks,
If I beat you at Gungi, you will no longer use the honorific.
I understand.
an impossible task. He can never win because there is no winning or losing with people you love. Relationships are not competitions. They're about making it through the highs and lows together because they were born.
I believe that I was born so I could be here today.
This is why I was born. For this moment.
So, they play.
4, 5, 1, Duke.
That's checkmate.
So here we are, just a man and a woman with a game in between. It's getting dark. It's lonely in the dark. It's getting hard to stay up. It's difficult to breathe. What if he's all alone?
Komugi, are you there?
Everyone he's had in his life is gone.
Komugi, are you there?
What if Komugi leaves?
Komugi, are you there?
What if she didn't stay when he needed her by his side?
Komugi? Komugi, are you there?
Everything has changed because all that matters is,
Will you stay by my side until then?
but for Komugi, nothing has changed. She's been blind her whole life.
Yes, I sure am. I'm not going anywhere.
She can't see how dark it's gotten.
Yes, I'm here.
The darkness is her home.
Of course I am. Go ahead. It's your turn, Lord Meruem.
When it's hard to see, the strong become the weak.
I can hear you. Alright. Like this?
He's scared of the dark, but the dark is all she's ever known.
I've never left your side. Don't worry. We'll always be together.
Everything has changed. For how does it feel to know
Yes,
that for
yes,
once in your
I'm
life
here.
you are valued for more than what you can bring? To be valued outside of what you can provide. To be valued for being who you are. A blind girl who loves to play board games and nothing more. and that's all you have to be forevermore.
Komugi.
Yes. What is it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In the dark, there is no difference between a man and an ant. In the darkness, everything is equal.
Will you
Yes?
say my name one last time?
Meruem, the light that illuminates all, dies seeing eye to eye with Komugi in complete and total darkness. But that's okay, because
Good night, Meruem. It'll be alright. I'll be joining you soon.
there will always be the Marshal and the Spy.